And here we are in the upper left. In the pink, representing Team Exxon, he's Spy. And his partner from Alpha X. In the red, the alternate name of Luke Skywalker, it's Starkiller. And on the other side of the map, in the teal, you know him, you love him, he's Jig. And finally rounding out this superb quartet of players in the purple, Poison's... Nah, there's no way to go with that. Anyway, he's the purple Protoss player. He's Semper. Now, yeah, that's the question, right? If Poison is Semper's #1 fan, does that make Semper Poison's #1 fan? Is that how that works? Do we have the do we have some reciprocity there? I don't really know, but joke's on me for trying to come up with interesting and novel player introductions as we go into this. You know, I will never succeed in that, but I try. Fair enough, man. There we go. Wait, Poison, what if I sat here on stream right now, and what if I told you that I was your #1 fan? What would that do? Would I have to go like fight Semper in 1v1 because well, we all know who's winning that one, and it's not me. Now on the other side of that, now we should maybe stop talking about Semper just a little, and talk about this double Zerg matchup. Yeah, any sort of 1v1. I'm on Exxon not because I'm an excellent player. I'm an Exxon because I'm at least an okay caster. Whether I'm better than that, well, that is up for you to decide, and me to cry over. But anyway, these two Zerg players from Exxon, from Alpha X, they are known for just about one thing and one thing only. Both of them, they are cheesy as hell. Yeah, see, Poison, I'm a PhD student. Let me tell you how much money I have. It's keyword. It's not a lot. I'll do this for you. I will. There we go. That is an honor of you. Does that work? Yeah, there we go. Sure, good enough. But anyway, what do we have here as an opener? We have a rather quick lair from Spy. Third base coming from Starkiller, so we may just see a. Yeah, he went to law school while being a pro player, and now he's a lawyer. And I'm hoping, hopefully, he's got a job. I know the law field right now. My father's a lawyer. I know the field for law right now is a little. It's really hard to get hired unless you're, you know, editor of the editor of the journal, or you get some crazy connections or something. Nice pickoff there from Jig. He's gonna be able to kill one drone, and those Zerglings were most likely. Well, I mean, they had speed, but most likely going to die anyways. But now we have lair just about done here. Bounty not found, undefined. I'm not sure what you're talking about. So what do we have here? We have a lair just about done. Oh, for Starkiller too. So I think are we just gonna see? Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that shouldn't be happening. I will fix that after this game. In the meanwhile, use the commands exclamation mark bracket and exclamation mark Maturino to do that. That shouldn't be happening. That's just, I think that's an error with the stream element spot. I'll fix that after this game. But I'm not going to distract her. I'm not going to distract us from this game that is happening. This is actually a really hard position to hold. Now the Phoenix, they do fly in. They maybe got some drone kills. Yeah, they got 2 more drones. Yeah, fire the bot, right? I've gone through Nightbot and it didn't quite do what I wanted. I do like stream elements bot for the most part, as we do have the mutas. They're going to go in equal opportunity drone killers, killing drones on both sides of the aisle. They got to be careful. That one Phoenix is just about going to go down. Not quite though. Now this third base again, it's incredibly exposed. You would expect Spy to maybe take this base. Sure, it's a decent rally distance between the natural and the third, but that is true of there, and this is a far more aggressive third base. But we are just going to see masses and masses of Roach Hydra, it looks like, coming in from our 2 Zergs here. Yeah, no, I can fix it. I just needed to actually fix it. And I don't want to do that in the middle of a game. So now the Phoenix, they're doing a good job just shaving away at everything. And this is just an incredible commitment to Phoenixes here. Is Semper being fed gas? No, it doesn't look like he is, as we do have Hydra Lurker on the way, and that is an incredibly gas-intensive composition. But, well, Semper says, you know what? We're going the... Oh, what's his name? Crypt Sailor? No, there's a Dutch Protoss player that has made several deep runs in ESL. Name begins with the C. ESL Open Cups, and he plays in PvP. He plays a Phoenix Immortal style, and it's really cool. Excuse me. So now the Phoenixes, they're just killing off the entirety of the army of Spine. And sure, there are a decent amount of Hydras now, and that will no longer be able to happen, but well behind this. But actually, you know, as I say that, 70 total army supply to 50. Most of the army supply of our teal player is in the air, or of our purple players in the air. But there is absolutely an opening for the Alpha X Exxon conglomerate to find their way across the map. And to find their way across the map and get something done, because they have a superior army at fighting for the moment. Now, of course, with the lurkers with lurkers on the way, that changes rather quickly. And the only detection available, well, the only detection available is flying through the air that flies pretty slowly. So Phoenixes, of course, can take that out. And as we move into this Phoenix lurker composition, wow, it's going to be incredibly difficult for Spy Starkiller to actually stick on top of these lurkers to kill them off. But now we do have the Phoenixes here, and oh, the whole position lurkers. The army is going on top of everything, and they're just going to evaporate. Look at that. Chunks of Zerg just go everywhere. And maybe not quite as impactful as one would have hoped, because plus one Carapace was done, but still, that was an incredibly cost-efficient fight. Now the Meters, of course, are just going to kill off all these Ravagers. And that army supply lead is still there for Starkiller. Not nearly so much for Spy. And now we have a bunch of observers on the way. Now the question is, do we have observer speed? We don't. So these observers are going to be rather slow. Now, of course, the trick here is you just attach them to you unhotkey them, you attach them to a unit that's going to be on the back, and that's what you do. But man, that is not a choke you attack into. Piles are going to go down, but no, they're not barely even going to land. And now we have Starkiller jockeying for position on the high ground, but the chokes here, they're pretty good. Now the Hydras will find these lurkers. They won't be able to get on top of them, kind of. But again, as long as this lasts, just everything dies. And with the splash here too, this army is just evaporating here. Well, as I say that, I say it's evaporating, but I'm not quite sure that's the case anymore. The lurkers, they're all just about dead here. The detection has not been able to get targeted down. And what is this, just 2 Colossi? 2 Colossi and a Hope and a Prayer. Oh, there are no more, there's only 1 lurker left on the map. The detection's gone the way out of it. But now we have the army of Spy of Starkiller. It's pushing in. And sure, eventually they may get cleaned up here, but now they're back on creep, so that means they can just target these Colossi down. The Colossi should just get jumped upon sooner rather than later. The Phoenix is doing what they can to lift just about everything, and the Hydras are mostly down, but the Colossi, they're going down as well, and the Roaches, well, they're not going to take a whole lot of damage. Sure, the Ravagers are going to go down, but we just have a constant resupply of Roaches, of Ravagers, of Hydras, of just about everything tasty and delicious under the sun here for our red and pink team, and we have more and more bases going down. And Spy Starkiller, they found themselves in a pretty good position, but this is not a game-winning position just yet. They have not traded perfectly. Now, this is where it gets a little bit scary. Now the Hydras, they're going to go on in, but the trick is there's just not enough Hydras, not yet. So these Phoenixes, for the moment, they're doing an incredible job of killing off the drips and drabs of Hydras that are finding their way on into the map. But now, well, there's no detection here. So Spy Starkiller, they took an incredible trade for the moment. They were able to punch in, they took a base down. Absolutely a positive thing. That being said, though, the lurker count is getting back up there once again. This time the lurkers have upgrades. They have not a lurker range, just going for burrow speed person. That's interesting. One might even say questionable. Now this Zergling counterattack doing what it can. And how many? Actually, yeah. Okay, now with the Queen going down, they're getting a pretty good spot. Will of course force our opponent back, but now we just have the Pinkster trying to do what he can to fight. But Exxon's in even a worse position to try to get something done, as he has no anti-air, so the Phoenix with impunity can just kill off all the detection, kill off all of the expensive units. And if we look at resources last year, it is massively in the favor of our PZ team. Now we move on into the late game. Hive on the way for both players, and I don't even know if we're going to see lurkers here. Okay, it looks like Exxon or Spy is going to be able to get on top of some of these lurkers and kill them off. Just barely, but you know, any sort of damage you get, unless they're going to be... unless they're going to be healed later on. I mean, getting damage on that is pretty nice. And now these Phoenix... This is, again, this is just mass Phoenix styles. A couple more Stargates. And Pulse Crystals on the way. +1 air attack on the way. And carriers to supplement. So this is very much the Nina style of Protoss. Well, not even Nina style now. This was Nina style from 6 months ago, where she would go just this mass Sky Toss into whatever, but mass Phoenix Sky Toss, not Void Rays, not anything else. And now with the Lurkers taking up a pretty great sieged up position, the mining here is going to be terrible. And Spy, he's not paying attention. He's just losing so many roaches. So many roaches have just died here. Because I believe, yeah, we do have Lurker range as well. So this is just these chokes. There's nothing our double Zerg team can do. They really cannot get in here yet. And sure, Lair is done on both, Hive is done on both sides. And sure, we will eventually have some Vipers. But Spy, he's not even going for it. He cannot afford it. Sitting here at 117 supply, 155, so 360 total supply. Well, the supplies for the most part, well, sorry, 280 total supply. So the supplies are roughly even. But it's not supply that's worry, it's quality. And when one side is Lurker, Colossus, Phoenix. Carriers on the way. And the other one is Roach, Hydra, Ravager. I can tell you which one I favor. And it is, it's not even close. And we do have the, teal and purple side moving in once again. Doing what they can. We're gonna see a burrow come off here. And of course, these lurkers do have fast burrow. They have lurker range. They just go in, they burrow up, everything dies, rinse and repeat. Now these spiles are going to land and kill one lurker off, but you need to get more than one lurker. All right, sorry about that. Fixing that. Now we do have the army on the aggression once again. Colossus, Phoenix, Lurker doing what they can. This is going to be a rather nice round, but there are no Vipers yet. Now eventually they are now on the map, but they have no detection. They have no energy card. The yoinks are going to be nice. So the Colossi will all go down. That is just step one of this puzzle. Roaches, they're just going to go through Lurkers once again. And the Starkiller pings that. He says, dude, don't go there. Roaches and Ravagers, they shred, or Lurkers, they shred your army. Now the Lurkers, they found their way to this outlying base of the XM player. All the drones, they die in an instant. Hatchery dies pretty quickly as well. And Spy Starkiller, they're on the back foot. More and more Vipers on the way for a grand total of 5. And I do like that. I do like the Viper count. You could never have enough when dealing with mass Sky Toss and Lurkers on top of things. Right. But I just worry that as this happens, I mean, the carrier count is just going to get too dramatic. That even with Vipers, even with doing what you can. Okay, so there's no detection here. You're just going to take needless damage for the moment. And there's just the lineup here. So much is very nearly dead. It's going to make the next fight that much more difficult. But the Lurkers, well, the Lurkers are jigged there on the right-hand side. And they are out and hungry for blood. You're going to see a full Lurker surround here. Meanwhile, the Phoenix on the right-hand side. Thought we were going to see a flank, but no. And credit to Spy and Starkiller. They're doing an excellent job of hanging in here. But hanging in is different from winning the game, and their composition is just not engender confidence. As now Semper says, okay, you know what? I'm maxed out. I don't need these Phoenix anymore. And he may want some, but okay, now we have the Viper's gonna go in, gonna do what they can. Actually, the Viper's with the good blinding clouds will allow this maxed out Alpha X army, or this maxed out Red Hydra army to come on in. As it appears that Spy, for the most part, is just feeding what money he has left to his opponent. But now we do have the fight coming on in here. Lurkers on the low ground, carriers on the high ground. Like the Vipers and the Hydras just can't fight anything. There we have it. GG. Semper Jig, they're gonna take game number 1. And I apologize apologize for that lag at the end of the game. I got a pretty beastly computer, but StarCraft is poorly optimized, unfortunately. But if someone works for Intel, someone works for NVIDIA, and wants to send me an upgrade, never gonna say no. All right, so it looks like retired folks did kill off Practice X. So Prince Loki versus retired folks, they are now in, or so what is that? Critical Nug and someone. Pretty much. Yeah, you're right. If someone wanted to send me a 3090, I would not complain in the slightest. No, but it doesn't need to be 3090. I'd take a 3070. I am not greedy. It would be about 2 or 3 generations better than what I got. I have a 980 Ti, which is a great graphics card, but it's about 5 years old at this point. But anyways, looks like we're waiting on Spy to go in as he has to download the map. He's in the mountains. It's Critical Nug and someone, I forget who the other player is. Is this just what my chat is going to be? Oh, Crucial. Is it Crucial Nug or whatever? I don't really know. Critical Nug. Yo, Sugar, check your DMs in check your DMs in StarCraft, please. I got a question for you. All right, so it looks like the Prince series is going to go off right now because we're in the middle of this series and there's plenty to go on. So not too bad there. So Practice X took the walkover, I guess. The Practice X team took the walkover. So winner of this series plays Team Walrus, which is Practice X Ghostly Swarm, in the lower bracket semifinals. There we go, lower bracket semis. Winner of that, of course. Yeah, winner of that plays the loser of Prince Loki versus Retired Folks, and that moves on to the finals. But here we are. The players, they're loaded in. Game number 2 on Sludge City. Let's get into it. And here we are in the upper left, in the pink, once again for Team Exxon. He's Spy. And his partner. In the red, going for a rather quick, going for 1312. Also, well, yeah, I said that in the red for Alpha X. It's Starkiller. I'm sorry, this is double 1312. That's interesting, and it will be scouted. And in the, getting this over quickly because we're about to heat up in the bottom side of the map. In the purple, he's Semper. And rounding this out, in the TL partner, he's Jig. All right, so it looks like this is scouted by Semper, at least one of them. The question is whether he knows that both players are doing the same thing. As this probe will go on to the natural, says, oh no, you are not mining from the gold base, and that's an interesting choice because, of course, this map has double golds. So, choosing to not be not take use of that, make use of that, and go to maybe a little bit later aggressive option, that's interesting, and there is some logic behind it, right? So if you say, look, this is a gold base, I know my opponents are going to go for a quick expansion. They're going to want to take advantage of that gold base ASAP. Well, if they do that, I'm going to go punish them by getting really quick speedlings with banelings and just try to go end the game, try to kill them off. Now, Semper, he has scouted this, of course, so we have a wall coming up on here in the main base, which probably more than anything else just means that Jig is going to be in an incredibly rough situation, most likely going to die because we're going to have a bunch of speedlings eventually. I mean, it's not going to be speedlings first. They are still about a minute off, 45 seconds off. But a bunch of speedlings on into the main base of Jig, and Semper with this wall up is going to be powerless, or is going to struggle to defend. Now, this base should go down with double speedlings on the way. Yes, absolutely should just die, but doing that, of course, buys time for the baneling nest to go up, for a spine to go up. So Jig actually may have an opportunity to hold here, an opportunity that he may normally not have. All right, so now that natural does go down, so it's one base for everyone on the map here. And more Zerglings streaming across the map, and that is a metric ton of banelings. That is a dump truckload. That is a 13 total banelings on the way here. 1 second, we're gonna ban this guy. Ban. There we go. All right. Don't need any spam, but actually it looks like Starkiller, they don't care. They say, you know what? Nope. Our play is not to kill the Zerg player that we probably could. Our play is do what we can to kill the Protoss player, and I guess that means they're more afraid of Semper than they are of Jig. But anyway, now we have the banelings will not survive. But now the Zerglings, they're streaming their way on into the main base, and we do have defensive banelings coming in here from Jig. And as there's just about one baneling for every Zergling at this point, that's a little... Why is there another one? Go away. Okay, anyway, we're gonna deal with that in a second because I'm not trying to cause any lag. Anyway, the Zerglings, they will get on top of this pylon, which does mean Semper is, for all intents and purposes, dead in the water, for the most part. With that being said, of course, well, Jig has an opportunity to do something, as we have both players mining from the same mineral line. So Spy and Starkiller, they're just going to stream on and do what they can, kill off Starkiller or Semper's base, take him out of the game. And then it's gonna be 2-on-1 once again. Now we did see Practice X. He wanted 2v1 earlier, but this is a different situation. It's not like Jig has been able to get into two bases rather quickly. It's not like he's been macroing behind this, been developing his tech behind this, and been in a really good situation. No, he's had to defend as well, and he has taken some damage. And those baneling shots are going to be okay. They're going to be decent, but now we do have the natural, the Nexus does go down. Cybercroak's going to go down as well. And what can a one-base Zerg do against a two-base Zerg? I am not anti-free speech. Say what you want, Night Toast. I'm just not against people breaking TOS in my channel. I build viewers the right way, which is cry in a corner and hope someone likes me. So this is pretty cool. Semper, he says, look, I'm not out of the game yet. I banked some money. I'm going to take the gold behind the mineral line, in my partner's base. He was able to keep 9 drones alive. Not terrible. And this, we have Jig taking the gold as well. But the game's not over. As much as I would like to say the game's over, the game's not over yet. However, I think this may be the situation of a zombie player more than anything else, a zombie team. As we have the double gold just about to get taken, we have Roachworn on the way. Is that Roachworn done? We've got Roachworn on the way for both sides. Or no, okay, never mind. No Roachworn on the way for Spy, but there is, or for Starkiller, but there is one for Spy. Yeah, this game is. See, my job as a caster is not to say, okay, the game's over. Game's over at 4 minutes 30. Yeah, pay no attention to the game anymore. I'm trying to tell a story. And if I could say maybe there's a chance, there's a 1 in a million shot that Semper, because he was able to take this gold base and is mining from it, maybe he can come back into this game. I don't know. And we have a couple Zerglings. They will run in here. Scouting Zerglings more than anything else. 1 in a million. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't want to drop the middle of this series, Mamo. And it happened. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Semper, he's never gonna get up the tech he needs more than anything else, before anything happens. But yeah, we're gonna see. Is that a lair on the way? Yeah, so lair on the way. So we're just gonna see probably mutas from Starkiller, roaches from Spy, and just a pile drive of an economic force moving in. And interesting, he's only mining off of 1 gas. So yeah, this is just gonna be roach laying for the moment. There we go. We have a Spire on the way. And there we go. So yeah, no, Semper, he says, okay, I don't need to feed. If I can just get double Stargate up and maybe establish some map control. Maybe. Yeah, this is interesting. And we don't necessarily see Spy Starkiller really trying to pump the aggression up too fast. I would have expected him to almost just do a double +1 roach timing, right? Just get fast lair, get roach speed, streamline across, steamroller across the map with 2 Zergs worth of gold-based roaches and just kill. But that's not what we're going to see here. And as they delay, they do theoretically give their opponent a new lease on life. That being said, I mean, it's 52 workers. And Jig Semper, they don't, combined, they don't have that type of worker count. Oh, I guess now they do. Let's see, Starkiller has banked up enough gas for about 10 mutas. And we're going to see, there we go, mutas now on the way. In time with the double Stargate coming out. So yeah, I mean, we do see double Stargate coming out here, so that is something where the muta spam is maybe not going to be as effective as one would hope. And now we do have Semper. He's going to go try to take his natural as his previous main once again. But we have a bunch of roach ravagers steamrolling their way across the map. But I mean, what is this? 1, 2. We have 2 spines, 3 more on the way. And with Zerglings and with Banelings here, I mean, this is going to be a difficult. Break. Jig doing a great job just killing off that ravager that took a decent amount of damage, and then backing all the way back up. But now we do have mutas on the way, steamrolling their way across the map here. Nice job. The Phoenix will pick up these Raptors as they move across. So this push, not all that scary. They do need to deal with these Banelings, though. Nice pickups on all these Banelings, but of course, now the Mutas, they're going to swing around to the left-hand side, and there is no detection here, or there is no spores here. There is no static defense here whatsoever, which means the mineral line of our Zerg player is going to suffer tremendously before the Phoenix get here. But there are enough Phoenix that eventually these Mutas will die. The question, of course, is at what cost? How long will it take for them to kill these Mutas before the mineral income, rather, really, the entire income of Jig is now done? And, well, Jig now on 38 workers. That being said, I mean, the mutas do die, so we're seeing it. Actually, this is pretty cool. So we're gonna see Hydra Corruptor coming in for our red-pink team. Yeah, I mean, the mutas, they got 18 workers. Nah, I think it's an order of magnitude. It's not 2 in a million. It's 2 in 100,000. It's an order of magnitude better. It's a 1 in 100,000. It's an order of magnitude better. And Semper looks like he does want to transition into ground-based stuff. No, okay, never mind. The forge is just to make sure that he can get cannons up. I mean, to be fair, but yeah, but those mutas, they weren't going to see a whole lot of value anyways. But now this is it's going to be that much harder for the Zergs to break into the Teal Zerg Heroes. We have lurkers there done. We will see Hive sooner rather than later. And we have, so, a bunch of Phoenixes on the map, +1 air on the way. And this attack should really fare no better than the previous one. Then we see the lurkers, they're just going to sit there on the high ground. And actually, there are just not enough Hydras here, I don't think. Yeah, the Phoenix should just be able to pick up and lift and kill off everything. So Hive is now on the way, which is going to make these lurkers terrifying Oh, there are more mutas now on the map. There are, what are the, 4 mutas and a bunch of corruptors, but now the Phoenix will find these out, and these is, well, actually we don't have +1 Phoenix yet. But now with the Hydra sitting here, Hydra's not actually fighting well against the mutas, and these corruptors are a terrifying thing. Hey, Just Bear, thank you for the follow. But again, these trades, they're not great, not yet. But then it's a question of, at what point do you just have a better economy? Or you say, look, we're on 4 to 5 bases, we have 3 golds to our name. It doesn't matter how many, whether we're taking these terrible trades, because the trades, they're not great for the moment. I mean, look at that, 5,500, minus 8,000 versus minus about, sorry, I guess this minus 9,000 versus minus 8,000. But it's fine. But now, of course, the Phoenix, they will find the drone transfer here as Spy tries to take his 4th base. And for once, Jig and Semper, they can move out on the map. They can get something done. They can maybe be aggressive. They can do damage. They can find themselves in an okay position. Yeah, that is... Yeah, Lurker Skytoss Turtle for the next 20 minutes until they find their way back into the game. That is the plan. And, it's not a bad one. I don't hate it. But now we do have Nidus coming on the way here. And the entire army of our Pink Zerg will find his way into it. And this is not something that Semper is aware of. And yes, breaking into this protected 5 base situation, that's hard. Going around it, that's a little bit easier. Now the Phoenixes, they will be here, but the Phoenixes cannot fight this Corruptor Hydra army in the slightest. So now we do have all the lurkers moving their way in, and Semper, he's going to lose his base again. Poor Semper. He has not been allowed to have a base in this game. He's not been allowed to have an economy in this game. He's not been allowed to really have tech in this game, as all the pros will go down once again. Semper being struck back in the Stone Age for the 2nd time in this game. Now, okay, the Phoenix, they're going to do what they can. They say, look, I can't do a whole lot, but I can move on to the other side of the map, and I can kill a bunch of drones there, so that's value. This army, of course, cannot really find its way onto the low ground. Not with the... Nah, okay, we're going to see abducts of 1 Hydra. I'm not really sure that's worth. And now Semper, he's taking his natural once again. This time in the 6 o'clock position. Buying Starkiller on a combined 360 total supply. Jig and Semper, they're not even above 200. So, yeah, Turtle Elven Lurker is a thing. It's possible. And maybe do something. But, I don't know if 88 supply of Lurker Hydra Viper can beat 200 supply. Or I guess 100... 88 can beat, yeah, about 200 supply of whatever our spread of Broodlord Lurker. Because, yeah, Broodlords, they're not all that great in ZVC. But, well. Okay, so we're going to see a decent parasitic, a couple parasitic bombs coming out here. A nice splits for the time being, but this last one's actually going to get a lot done. Meanwhile, of course, we have the pink army going to go in with the Vipers here. The parasitic, the blind clouds are good for the moment, but I mean, there's no detection. Where's the detection here? Oh wait, never mind. These are Jig lurkers. So the lurkers are doing a good job, but now it's just not going to be enough. And then we have a GG Semper. Jigs are going to tap out, and we're going to game 3. All right, bracket update as we sit here trying to figure things out, and I wish my my chair, right, the lock to make me not sway backwards, it just keeps popping out of place, which is rather annoying. And now we have a lobby for game number 2. We'll be on Nightscape. We'll be on that ever so pretty map. That is so ludicrously bright. Now our players, they're ready. We have the countdown, and we're about to ready to go on to game number 3. We'll be on Lightscape for the decider. Of course, Lightscape, it's a pretty cool map. It only has one true approach, one early game approach into the double natural. There are, of course, there's a mineral wall that you can mine out. Actually, no, I believe there's a 1 hex opening that you can get through. But yeah, I don't actually know that's not a full wall, but only one good opening. So good way to get 2 bases on this map. But anyway, our players, they're loaded in to this third and final game of this best of 3. And here we are in the bottom left. In the pink for Team Exxon, he's Spy. And his opponent, another cheesy Zerg, he's Starkiller. Representing Alpha X. We did see a gas cancel here, but this, actually, funnily enough, this is Starkiller, which means he's going for a 15 hatch, or going for a 17 hatch after this. He likes doing that for some reason, specifically in ZVZ. And on the other side of the map, in the purple, you know him, you love him, he's Semper. And rounding us out here, his partner, in the teal, it's Jig. Is that a visual bug? No, that's just rain that reflects and kind of makes it look transparent. What that is. As I say that, okay, that is not what Starkiller's goal is here. Generally, when he goes for that gas cancel to 15, he's going for 15 hatch, but not in this case. He goes for 15. Both he and Spy go for 15 pool. 15 pool, 16 gas, maybe. They're gonna go aggressive once again, but this time it's not 1 base aggression. It is 2 base, so they will have an opportunity. They will have a better macro follow up. Of course, that does mean that whatever they go for, and this is probably just Zergling aggression, because again, this is not 2 base, or I should say this is not 1 base. They'll have that better follow up, but their aggression is probably not going to be as committed, not going to be as difficult to hold. But Jig going for a 2nd gas here. What's the question, Just Bear? Yeah. So I guess the math works out. I see this in a lot of PZ matchups. I don't know why you don't do I don't know why it's not double gas. It's only 1. It may be an AI thing. I'm gonna have to check out. But anyway, so what happens there is an assimilator is what, 75 minerals? Is it 100 minerals? Anyway, it's cheaper, or it's more expensive than an extractor. So what you do is the Zerg goes and the Zerg builds the extractor. Protoss refunds them the money, and it's cheaper for everyone. And Protoss gets that gas a little bit cheaper, a little bit faster. It's a minor bit of efficiencies you see specifically when you have a PZ team. I agree, but I guess that's how the math works out. It's worthwhile. Or maybe it's just because, hey, I can probes can mine from extractors. That's pretty cool. But this is something I have seen Jig and Semper do consistently. Now, okay, so this is this was kind of a fake. Although we do have speed, Zergling speed from the players, and yeah, the Zergling speed should be there to follow up. Because now we just have a bunch of roaches here on the way. And the flood has commenced, and there's not a whole lot to defend here. Actually, we see all the probes being pulled back into the main base. Jig and Semper, they're like, okay, look, I know what's happening here. This is not something we can hold on the low ground, but we can maybe hold on the high ground, especially with this Stargate on the way. As Void Ray is going to come out, and that means these roaches will eventually all die. Pretty good situation to deal with. A couple spines as well, although these spines are not going to be incredible for what they're trying to do. All right, so now the Void Ray is just going to go here. Roaches are going to go down, and the question's... Yeah, okay, so the Zerg base does go down. Protoss base should go as well. It's just the massive amounts of Zerglings. So we're Spy or Jig and Semper, they will be sent back to 1 base. you know, you say losing both matches at Nats is GG, and I don't know how I feel. Like, yes and no. Right, if your opponent commits this hard, something and they don't kill you. Just look behind this Jig and Semper, they have more workers. But now, okay, now they'll be able to punch on into the main base. They're doing a good job, but with the Adepts and the Stalkers here, well, the Roaches, they're just dying. So this is actually not, I mean, they punch through, yeah, they get the pylon, they get the Cybercore, with the double void right here. This is now held. And Spy and Starkiller, they took a whole lot more damage. And now we have the opportunity for a counterattack from our teal and from our purple players. I just took a couple void raids. I don't really think that's what we're gonna see, but no, it looks like their counterattack is gonna be an economic one, as Jig is gonna take a third base really quickly, and Semper is gonna take the gold. A couple Zerglings running in as well. And as we, of course, we do see our pink and red team doing what they can to reestablish their economy after committing so hard to that attack. Well, there's an opportunity for these Zerglings to maybe get something done. Now they're just going to run around. Just a scouting situation. Player halfway done for Jig, but we already have double Hydrogen on the way for Spy Starkiller. And this is a Starkiller, but I think what we're going to see here, and this is a Starkiller special when he knows he's against Stargate, which I guess is the primarily quote-unquote scary attack in this game, is you up to about 44 workers on 2 base. Actually, we saw Armani do this against Zest, I believe, in the GSL as well. But anyway, you go up to about 44 workers, full gas saturation on 2 base. You get a third base as a macro hatch as you go on, and it's a Hydra all in. And that doesn't make a lot of sense because Hydras are so damn expensive. But it's against Mass Stargate, it's something that can absolutely work out. Okay, now the third base, the third gold is available. Looks like Semper is waiting to make sure he gets the money for that. And we have the third base for our teal player as well. Income, roughly, well, actually not even. Yeah, because interesting that the income is that different when the worker count is so similar. But I know that was just workers transferring. Okay, that makes sense. We're waiting for the third base to go down. Eventually, Zerglings are going to shark around. And more importantly, they have seen that the Hydras are out. They've seen what's up. And Semper knows that he's got to be careful. I guess you still just go with Max Phoenix here. Just lift the Hydras you can. But this is, of course, this is double Zerg Hydra. This is not single Zerg. So whereas double Phoenix may have the ability to deal with Hydras off of 2 base from 1 player, they don't necessarily have the ability to deal with Hydras off of 2 player. They're just going to be too many Hydras. So as this push moves across the map, it is really going to be all down to the Banelings that do not have Baneling speed yet, by the way. It is on the way. But it is not there yet. Alright, so Banelings, they're going to come crushing and do what they can. The Roach Bastion is going to hold strong for the moment, and these Banelings are not going to connect all that well, but maybe there's just enough. Maybe they killed just enough Hydras for the Phoenix to do what they want. But not quite. Not quite. Spy Starkiller. This third base should go down as more and more Zerglings are on the way. Spy Starkiller making their bread and their butter on just absolutely hitting these crazy all-ins that turn into more all-ins, that turn into yet more and more all-ins. As the Spy Starkiller, they're streaming on the way into the natural of Jig, of Semper, doing what they can to push in here, and there's just not a whole lot of defense. Phoenix, they can't fight. There are not enough Banelings, and sure, Baneling speed is now done, but only 6 Banelings on the way, and that is absolutely a situation you can just kind of split against. More and more Hydras, more and more Zerglings streaming across the map. We're not going to see Queens across the map just yet. And so the Banelings are done. But again, it's a 2.5 base Zerg. I mean, it's a 1 base Zerg, it's a 2 base Protoss. And now we're going to have the Phoenix. They will be able to clean the rest of this up. But look at the supply. Alright, so now the Phoenix will find the rest of these Hydras. That is something. Now the Pink Army is going to move on in, and with these Archons sitting in the background, it's maybe not the best fight, and you always got to be worried with how Spy Starkiller playing. This is what sent them down to the losers bracket. is they maybe overcommit a little bit too hard. They sense the momentum, and then they just don't have enough stuff. Actually, no, this was that Semper? No, I think it was Spy Starkiller. Anyway, just don't have enough Hydras, and the Sky Army is able to deal with them. Like we're maybe seeing here, and this is all about the Baneling connections. Should the Baneling connections hit most of this? Well, actually, there's just no Phoenix energy anymore. But this one Hydra standing strong. It is the Hydra from the Legacy of the Void intro, the Legacy of the Void animation. The one Hydra doing what it, or the one Archon doing what it can, but it has a brother now. Sister, or do Archons even have genders? Do they have brothers and sisters? I don't really know. Interesting. It sounds like the map sounds for this map. You hear a like a voice over a loudspeaker. That's pretty cool. All right, so Spy and Starkiller sitting here at about 100 supply each. Fourth base now on the way for Starkiller, not for Spy, not yet. He is only just taking his third. And Storm is just about done. Storm is worth a whole hell of a lot against Bling Hydra. We don't necessarily... Okay, actually, never mind. There are lurkers on the way here for Starkiller. So we do see that tech path going up just a little bit. Again, Storm's pretty good against lurkers, too, until they do get to that... he double expanded because they had held off, and they were only on one base. So it's a matter that okay, I took some damage. I held you all in. It's not for me to get a greedy. So now we have Infestor's on the high ground here. That fungal is not going to be great, and we don't necessarily have the follow-up quite yet. Okay, now the second fungal is going to be decent, but there are no banelings anymore. Not exactly triggered together properly. Now Jig's base will be forced to be canceled. As we have the armies streaming in once again. There are a decent amount of Phoenix here. Don't get me wrong, and the storms are going to be pretty good. Actually, the fungal storm combo is going to be really juicy as well. You can't split out. You cannot run away from storms. But well, Starkiller's army, it's still pretty good. It's sitting at 150 supply, which honestly, that's about the total supply of Jig and Semper put together. The lurkers there, lurker range on the way. Yeah, the Zerglings will not be able to get a whole lot done. Nice counterattack. It's gonna try to get something done from Semper, but will be forced back. And where are we at from workers lost? 17 workers from Spy have. Okay, so that run by did a good bit. Spy has lost 17 workers this game. It's not bad. Looks like Spy. It's his turn to go for a Spire this game. Starkiller had all the fun. Game number one went for that. Got Brood Lords at the end of the game to push things through. Yeah, Jig and Semper, they have some scary tech, but they just don't really have the supply to deal with it, unfortunately for them. The fungal is nice, and okay, apparently you can burrow through a fungal. Things I didn't know, because you just never see that interaction. Now we have the army of Spy, Starkiller pushing in once again. That's just a lot of lurkers. It's going to take a lot of storms to deal with that. And of course, the storm number one is decent, not incredible, but decent. And these we just see our players desync. The fungals, whenever they land, there's no follow-up. Right? There are no banelings crashing, and there's no storm hitting on top of it. So it's just not all that great. Now we do have the army. Okay, that fungal's going to have some opportunity, but again, Templar aren't there. Okay, that storm is going to be juicy as hell. If we do have a couple zealots going for a run by, they will be taken out here. Is what a witch lurker. I don't see any lurkers do anything crazy. So now the Phoenix, they're going to go on and do what they can to lift these lurkers up. Two will go down. We're going to see another fungal. This time the storm? No, not even. And the slow push does commence. Now Jig, he does have Vipers on the way. There we go. That's the fungal storm combination we've been looking for. So much just melts in an instant. And in all honesty, as long as Jig and Semper are able to get the Hydra count down to such a point where the Phoenix can win the fight. Hey, Cranky Ducklings, thank you so much. You're awesome people. Thank you again. Okay, so now we do have the storm is going to go down, but again, this is such a terrifying push. There are just too many Hydras here. So even as the carriers do come out, there were just no interceptors for them. They just get targeted down immediately. That being said, Semper, he's doing a good job of going up in tech, and his opponent's not really, but we do have 6 Corruptors on the way. So Spy will eventually have a Corruptor busting force as they do go again, take Semper's, was that his 4th base down. So if the storms do hit, if the carriers do get up to a scary enough number, these are the things that one must worry about. And interestingly enough, Jig, he's gone for just mass Zerglings here. Or mass melee. So we're gonna have 3-3. Oh, we're actually gonna have Ultra Lifts. So if we get there long enough, Carrier Ultra sounds like a pretty terrifying composition, as the 3rd base will be allowed to stay alive for the moment. The storms are gonna be massive. There we go. A couple more storms are gonna go down. And the army on the right-hand side is dealt with for the moment. And now with the those storms are gonna be incredible as well. We do see 1 Viper Abduct. But now this army moving in of Hydra, Lurker, Roach Ravager with Corruptors on the backside. There we have lifts coming in, but now the Corruptors, they're finding their way in here, and this is where things get a little bit carried. The Corruptors cannot survive. We do see a fungal. I think, yeah, there's fungal parasitic bomb. Do we see any storms? We have no storm energy. But the Corruptors and the fungals and everything, they're just all going down. And sure, the 3rd base is under fire, but maybe this is the fight Semper needs. No, it doesn't look like it. As good as that fight was, and all the Corruptors did go down, there were just no interceptors for these carriers. So the carriers, sure, there's the supply, and maybe there's something they can do. But again, they can't fight. The interceptors have all gone down, and we do have 7 being built at a time, but the economy is in the dumpster. Zerg player on 3 bases, but realistically only on 1. Protoss player mining out as well, so the 3rd base will go down here. And it looks like Jig and Semper, they are seconds away from tapping out, from falling out of this tournament. And Spy and Starkiller moving on to the losers finals. But where there's a carrier, there's a prayer. Where there's a storm, there's a prayer. As this Sky Dust army is getting ready for one last assault. The supplies not doing all that poorly. 100 total army supply to about 120. Yeah, that's a good question. Can they even afford interceptors? 6 interceptors on the way here. Do we have any Vipers left? We do. Okay, so that fungal is on great fungals on top of these Corruptors. And if the fungals land, if we get one more fungal, there we go. The Archons are getting on top of everything, and now the anti-air is just really not there for the carrier, for the Skytoss army. Make no mistake about it, though. Jig Semper, they are absolutely all in on this game number 3 of this losers bracket finals. So if they are not able to punch through, if they cannot go and kill their opponent off, well, they're not in a good spot. But it looks like they just want to back up. They say, okay, we did enough. We're gonna go home, and I must take issue with that assessment. Maybe they're just waiting for Vipers to come in. They're gonna wait for some more Infestor energy. Maybe that's the play. I don't know how I feel about it, but maybe that's the play. We do have a couple Ultralisks on the way for Jig as well, but they're 3/3 Ultras against Lurkers, against Hydras, and honestly, Ultras don't do all that well. Don't do all that great against that composition. Now, 3/3 Speedlings against +1, +0 Speedlings. Yeah, that's a fight that Jig is going to win every day of the week. So now he's going to be able to take this base out. Sweet. And maybe Jig Semper, are they starting to do it? I mean, the economy disadvantage is so extreme for them that I struggle to see a way, but if they're able to keep finding these advantages, taking these fights, keeps smacking down the economy of their opponent, maybe there's a chance. Okay, this base will not go down, even with crack. But we'll almost, so any sort of follow-up can maybe get something done. And now we just have massive expanse coming here from Semper, from Jig. All right, so counterattack on the right-hand side. Spy, while his Zerglings are not nearly as powerful, but there are a decent amount of them. And, well, okay, the carrier should be able to clean these off sooner rather than later, but the space will go down. And once again, we're in this situation where it's about 350 total supply versus a Zerg Protoss team that cannot reach 200, and this base will go down as well. So the question, I don't even know if Semper Jig expected to hold that base. They have to hold these, though. They have to hold the 2 new bases that they have taken. If they can do that, maybe they can do something. The fungals are going to be decent. But again, we need to see the fungal storm combo, as this is just a lot of Hydras, and honestly, that's just more than the carriers can fight at the moment. These parasitic bombs are going to be okay; they're not going to be incredible. And this is a game of spellcasters, where their energy can be army. All right, but now we have the Hydras going in once again. Good storms. The army of Spy on the right-hand side. Actually, well, it's not going to get a whole lot. It's just an air army, so these Corruptors are doing tremendous work. And now okay, so we see the Hydras, we see the Lurkers now go in. Yoinks on top of everything. I don't really know what those Yoinks were for, but with the... Oh, well, there we go. Now, those storms are absolutely incredible, and all the Hydras are going to melt, so sure. What do we lose? 2 carriers. And sure, all the Interceptors are dead, but the army of Starkiller is dead as well. These Ultras now, they're marauding. Yeah, 2v2 games. They are crazy here. And for the first time in this game, the supplies are getting pretty close to even. Yeah, we have a resupply once again, but Zergling Ultra with 3-3 with Kindness Plating. Well, how many, this is 33 Corruptors and 10 Roaches. I mean, these Ultras can absolutely take this fight. This ground army is dominant here. Do we have any? We have, okay, so 30 Hydras. And to that, I would love to see some Banelings added in once again. But I wonder if Spies made the mistake of going too hard into the Corruptor count. He's got Vipers on the way. He's more and more Corruptors and Zerglings, but, hey, thanks for the follow, Uvorcrib. Yeah, again, with this ground army, with these 3-3 Zerglings, with these Cracklings, with these Ultras, I mean, what is on the ground here for Spy, for Starkiller that can really deal with it? Okay, Hydras actually deal with Ultras pretty well, but that base does go down once again, and I would, again, if there's the gas for it, and it looks like there is, I just love to see a bunch of Banelings going in. We don't have, okay, actually, we have the workers were rebuilt. So once again, this is really a game of Starkiller versus Semper here. Jig doing what he can. He's doing a great job of being active on the map. Oh, did we see? Okay, the Corruptors just sniped that the base of Jig. I apologize for missing that. Hey, people were talking about this game being 1,000,000 to 1. Okay, now the army of Starkiller on the right-hand side gonna get some decent fungals, but again, what we're looking for here is the combination. We're not looking for fungals, and we're not. I mean, storms. Yeah, we're looking for good storms, absolutely, but we're looking for the combo storm fungal. That is what makes the difference. That is what potentially wins this game. As now we have the Lurkers go in once again, and the Ultras they're going to be forced to fight. That's not a fight they want. Now with the parasitic bombs, the storms on top of everything. The Corruptors, they're just melting, but they get their job done. The Skytops army is going down. And what do Jig and Semper have left? They've made a great run of things, absolutely. But there's actually, well, okay, that storm's not going to land. But they're just running out of economy once again. Jig's base is going to go down, and with that base going down, the way is open to the heartland of our Zerg Protoss team. And Viper's going down as well, which is incredibly unfortunate. So what do we have? 1 carrier and a whole bunch of Archons. Yeah, Blinding Cloud maybe makes the difference there if you Blinding Cloud and then everything runs in. Okay, Zergling counterattack on the right-hand side. This base... Honestly, I would like to see it canceled, but no, it will not get canceled. Now, we have the Zerglings. They should be able to take this base out as well, as it is here on half health. But that's not the story. The story is this Lurker Hydra army that Starkiller has done such a good job of propagating, of maintaining, of building. Sitting here cutting off the inner bases from the outer bases, as it were. And you just need some incredible storms. Semper going for double force. You going for a ground army on top of this? Okay, now we have a surround coming in. Blinding clouds on storms on top of everything, and maybe this is just going to be enough if they can take out the Lurkers, but the damage is just too high. The DPS is just too high. Everything is melting, and there we have it. Spy Starkiller. They're moving on.